Kayali delivered again, and you know what? This time it's for the summer months, and I'm not gonna lie, so far everything I've tried from Kayali has been absolute fire, and this one is no different. This is Kayali's Eden Sparkling Lychee 39. Let's get right into some sprays here. I don't have time for this. Oh wow, great one. It's a great one. Turn off the video. So the first blast of this fragrance, right off rip, right off top, my first impression is like a really juicy bubblegum fragrance. It reminds me of like a very intense tropical fruit bubblegum.
The notes! Lychee, blackcurrant, red apple, Italian, lemon, violet, rose, jasmine, sugar, vanilla, absolute musk, amber, sandalwood, and a little bit of cedar. The problem is I'm not smelling cedar, Anthony.
For being called Sparkling Lychee, I mean, it definitely has the sparkling, effervescent, did I say that word right? Effervescence, sparkling like a champagne-y vibe to it, or maybe like a very intense sparkling water. It has that, that's definitely the opening, and I like it a lot. I get this juicy lychee smell, this tropical fruit, but a note that is really standing out to me is I'm getting a red apple note. This red apple accord is mixing with this fruity opening, and I really like it. So picture this like sparkling red apple lychee tropical fruit bubblegum smell. That's what I'm getting in the opening from this right off. And you know, this fragrance is a little bit sweet for sure. I mean, I guess you can all guess that, but it's not overly sweet. It's not too sweet. And what I think it is, I think it's the red apple, because usually I don't associate with red apple being like an overly sweet smell or fruit, but I think the red apple in this is keeping this from being too juvenile smelling and just bringing that sweetness down just a little bit. Yes, the opening is really good in this fragrance. I really do enjoy it, but the dry down to me, where this thing really starts to take on its own identity, if you will. You know, the opening might be a little bit familiar. It's a nice, sweet, bubblegummy, fruity fragrance. There's a lot of those in the market, but the dry down in this takes the designer path. I know this isn't a designer fragrance. I mean, maybe you could call it niche. I don't know. Kayali kind of goes either way in my opinion, but this kind of has a different vibe than what most fragrances on the market offer. You know what that is? That is rose, a candied rose to be exact. Imagine if you took a fresh rose and you dipped it in like a tropical punch candy or syrup. That's kind of what this dries down to. Now, it's not overly floral. If you don't like floral roses, I mean, that's not it. Like I said, it's an edible candy smelling rose, and it's very nice. It's very pleasant. This is a very happy, uplifting fragrance. And that rose note in here really shines through with the dry down, and I think it makes this fragrance pretty special on the designer, we'll just say on the mass market. On the mass market, for the easier to find fragrances, that candied rose note's pretty unique. And you know what, I don't know what it is, but there is a sugary note in here that smells, I feel like I've smelled it before in Kayali's fragrances, right? There's like a sugary note that kind of reminds me of the same sweetness that is in like Yum Pistachio Gelato. If you want to see a review of that, I did one up there. But that sweetness, that same formulation or accord that's in that, you can find that in this. I think this is not as sweet as Pistachio Gelato, but it is a sweet fragrance, and I get that sweetness. You can smell the DNA. We'll call it the Kayali DNA, even though technically it was made by different perfumers, but the formulation is in this fragrance. Yeah, I really like this. This is a very happy and playful fragrance. It's very fresh and uplifting. Very nice. Very nice. So there is a higher end fragrance that this reminds me of a little bit, just a little bit, and the dry down part to be exact, that candied rose. And that, I don't know if you're familiar with this house. I haven't done a review on this fragrance yet, but I will be, and that is by Argos, and that is Adonis Awakens. Are you familiar with that fragrance? Well, if you're not, I happen to have it right here. This is Adonis Awakens by Argos. What is it? It's Adonis Awakens, the god, I don't know. But that's what this is. This is like the niche version. This is way spicier. I would say this is more challenging overall, but it has that candy rose note that is in the Kayali Sparkling Lychee. I keep saying it wrong, Sparkling Lychee, right? But Sparkling Lychee 39 to me is like a lighter version of Adonis Awakens. It's like a lighter, more mass-pleasing, a little sweeter. You know, this one's way spicier. Well, we'll talk about that. This is gonna get its own video, but that is also a candied rose fragrance, and the dry down of this reminds me of that. A little more pleasant, a little bit more mass-pleasing, a little bit lighter. That's what you're getting here. I just wanted to point that out. For all you frag heads, you know, that want some niche, serious shit, Well, there you have it. Moving on. Well, this fragrance is definitely a feminine fragrance. I mean, this is for women. So, men, don't leave. Because, I mean, I'm going to say, I'll wear this all day. This is not overly feminine. I mean, it's feminine. It's feminine. It's not overly feminine. It's not overly This fragrance, hello? This fragrance is not overly feminine where I personally wouldn't wear this. I mean, I'm probably gonna rock this all summer. It just smells really good. I feel like anybody you pass is gonna be captivated by this and probably ask what you're wearing, honestly. But as far as that, unisex, on the unisex tag, it's way more feminine. But this is a perfect fragrance, guys, to buy your girl. Buy your wife this, unless she's like 1,000 years old. Buy your mom this. You could buy your daughter this. Let's talk about the price point of this. So this is the 50 ml. This is the 1.7 ounce, and this roughly goes for about $100. I mean, the easiest place to pick this up is Sephora. They also have the 3.4 ounce, which is the 100 ml, and that's around $130. It's about $140. I think it's like $138 technically. But if you wanted to get some samples of this fragrance, I'll put some links down below to the fragrance channel Decants. I'll decant you a sample and ship it out to you, and it really helped me out. It'll support this channel grow, and if you care about that at all, then check that out. Let's do another spray here. I want to do a good mic spray. Let's get it in the air. We'll do 2. Wow, that fruity note. You know what? I'm almost saying this more so than the lychee fruit. You get that tropical fruit vibe, but for some reason, I'm picking up that red apple. That red apple note just kind of like cuts through, and it's very interesting. It's very nice because I really don't feel like there is a lot of good apple fragrances. I think we can all agree that women especially, I'm sure you smell tons of fruity floral gourmands. There's not that many good apple fragrances. I would consider this kind of like an apple fragrance, not overly apple. Like I said, it's juicy red tart apple mixing with the tropical vibe into a very playful, sweet bubblegum smell. That's what this is. It's very nice. I really enjoy this. I mean, this is a very flirty fragrance, it is, but it doesn't push the boundaries. It's not too seductive. This isn't like a risque fragrance. It's not that. It's like a happy, like, wow, I'm totally cat. Maybe not that. That's not what it was. We'll move on. As with any fragrance, there are some cons, and there's a small con to this one. It might not be a con for you, honestly, but the con to me a little bit. Let's talk about the projection and the longevity. Now, the projection on this is pretty good. I mean, when you first spray this the first few hours, you'll smell it. You'll project that 4 to 6 feet. I think walking by people, you'll smell this. And I think, honestly, this is probably gonna be a solid compliment puller. I think it is. The longevity, though, is a little bit on the lighter side. I got about 3-ish hours, 3 to 4 hours, and it kind of turned into that nice candied rose skin scent, which is like a very pleasant, but I mean, this is a fresh fragrance for the hot months, for the summertime. This is an oversprayer. You would have no issues overspraying this. You wanna do 10 sprays on this? Do 10 sprays on this, because it's not gonna be overpowering. It's gonna come down with that projection and longevity, and it's gonna turn into a nice skin scent. The sillage will be very enjoyable. And if you want it stronger, just take the bottle with you. And possibly, I mean, this could be for a slightly younger audience. I don't think the most mature of mature women, I don't think a mature woman might like this. It could be a little bit too sweet for you. That being said, though, I think all ages should be able to appreciate this. If you don't like sweet fragrances, you're not gonna like this. If you don't like rose fragrances, give this one a chance, because like I said, it's not like an overly floral, flowery rose. It's more of like a semi-gourmand, fruity, candy dipped rose. Something more in that ballpark. But yeah, I mean, this is perfect for summer weather. This is made for spring and summer. This will thrive during the day, hot weather. I mean, this is office and work safe. You could wear this to the gym if you wanted to. This is perfect for dates during the day. I mean, even wear it at night. I can't see this going wrong at night. At night, I would have a slightly different choices maybe for dates, but I mean, this will work. This will get your attention. If you want attention from a guy, if you want him to notice you, I think this would be a good one. You walk by him and he already has a crush on you, he's gonna be like, wow,
she smells so sweet.
Overall, yeah, it's just very good. I don't know, I give it like a solid 8 out of 10 if we're gonna do a ranking system here. It's very fresh, very happy, very uplifting. It reminds me of something though. I was trying to think about what it was, because it's definitely fruity. And like I said, it has a bubblegum vibe, but what this reminds me of, there's another nostalgic trigger here. When I was little, right, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I played Little League Baseball, right? And I don't know if you've played too, but if you remember Little League sports in general, after the games, you'd go to the concession stand. That was a huge thing in the early 90s. I don't know if they still do that. Do they still do that? And me and my teammates, we would get all the new candies, and at that time, it was like Jawbreakers, Laffy Taffy was new, the watermelon ones with the seeds, Big League Chew bubblegum. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of like Now and Laters, right? Or like Bubblicious, like watermelon bubblegum. If you like mix that with some of the other flavors, some fruit punch. I mean, me and my friends, we would take as many packs of gum and we would stuff them in our mouths where we couldn't even open our mouths and so you could stuff the most gum in. That's kind of the vibe this gives me. I know that's like a weird one, but like that's kind of the smell that this triggered for me. It's just like fun and happy. It just reminds me of like being a kid and laughing. But like I said, it's not overly juvenile because that apple note in here, I think, is what saves the day. The apple and candy rose elevates this a little bit and makes this not like a juvenile scent. And you know what? I've also heard some people say it smells like something from like a Bath and Body Works. I think this is on a different class. I really do. It's a little bit, this is a higher end. Maybe if you don't have a developed nose and you can't pick those notes out, but like I said, this reminds me of like a fresher version of Adonis Awakenings, which is a very niche candied rose fragrance. And this is just more mass pleasing, and I think you'll genuinely will like this. But like I said, if you want to check out some samples, check out the links below, the Fragrance Channel Decants, get some coupon codes, brah, or chick. I don't know, I'll send it to you. And on that note, I'm gonna do one more really good. We'll do another Sidewinder spray here.